Remember in my last video, I mentioned that the US30 or the Dow Jones Index was going to go up and it was going to break the previous high and then it was going to reverse back downwards. Remember, I said it was going to go further above the previous high, but it would not go too far and then it would reverse back down. Let's go to the chart and see what happened. So I said price was going to, remember I mentioned this gap here, the weekend gap from here to here. I said price was going to go down, come back down to fill it. However, I had entered a trade somewhere around here because I was expecting price to bounce back downwards. Okay. Now, I said price was going to, could break this high, but it wouldn't go much further. And if it did break the high, it would bounce around a bit, but reverse back down and come to cover this gap here. Now watch what price did. Can you see? So my stop loss was on this red line here. Remember I said I never close a trade until price, a bar, closes above, an hourly bar closes above my stop loss. Okay, so a lot of the time price would come, go up to my stop loss, break my stop loss, but not close above my stop loss, and then it will go shooting back down. Okay, this didn't even get to my stop loss. It came quite close. So price broke this high, went up, bounced around a bit, painted this big green bar, which would make a lot of traders close out of their short trades, out of their sell trades, because it looks like price is going up. But I have seen this a million times, so I know what price is doing. What did price do? It painted this big green bar, then painted a small green bar that made you think, you know what, I really want to go up. And then it started to come back down. Can you see how price melted, completely melted back down? Where do you think price stopped? Where do you think price stopped? Price stopped after covering this weekend gap here. Okay? You can see price stopped after covering the weekend gap. The weekend gap I marked with this red line here. Price came down, stopped there, hovered a little, went back up, broke back down, and you can see it started going up now. I have said this over and over again. Those of you that think the only way to trade is to have a high R, is to have a high reward to risk, what you're doing is you are making it more difficult to stick to your strategy. For those that it works for, that's totally fine. But the problem is it doesn't work for most people, because after you've taken loss after loss after loss after loss consecutively, because you're waiting for that 5-hour win, because you're waiting for that trade that will give you 5 times what you risked, you might not even have the capital to get to that 5th trade or 6th trade that will give you a 5-hour. Okay, which is why a lot of you blow up, which is why a lot of you blow accounts, because your mental capacity is not in line with your strategy, because the way you reason is not in alignment with your strategy. The way I trade is in line with the way most people think, and most humans want to win most of the time. That is how humans are built. Okay, which is why I build strategies like this, and I keep building strategies like this that have high win rates but low reward to risk. Because if you're winning often, if you're winning most of the time, then you will not revenge trade when one of the trades is a loss, when 1 out of 10 trades is a loss, 2 out of 10 trades are losses, because you know you are going to get back winning as quickly as possible. This is how to trade like a market maker. All you need to do is act in line with the way your mind works. It's that simple. It is that simple. Pick a strategy that works most of the time, or rather develop a strategy that works most of the time, regardless of the reward to risk. Of course, the reward to risk shouldn't be so negative that it's, 1 to 100. But find or develop something that is meaningful, that is practical, that you will stick with. Now, building strategies is not the easiest of things. Finding a strategy or developing a strategy that actually works long term is not the easiest of things. I think the stats for me is I come up with one successful and profitable strategy for every 20 that I test. So I build one, test it, it doesn't work, I discard. Build two, build three, build four, up until 20. By the time I reach the 20th, I would then come up with one strategy that actually works. And then I discard the 19. And then I start all over, looking for another strategy that will be complementary to the one I just created, and will be successful. And that goes on and on and on. So I've built hundreds of strategies. I have tested hundreds of strategies, most of which didn't work. That's how I came up with the 7 strategies that I trade now. And that's because I know that the market changes. So you need to be able to switch from strategy to strategy, or you need to be able to run different strategies at the same time, because the market will give you setups at different times based on your different strategies. Okay, now this didn't come in my first 5 years of trading. I learned this in the many years of trading, after experiencing blown accounts after blown accounts, loss after loss, sleepless nights after sleepless nights. That's how I came up with this. Okay, if you don't want to have to spend 7 years losing, if you don't want to have to spend 7 years blowing accounts, like a lot of you do, that you buy prop firm accounts, you blow them, you think it's cheaper to buy prop firm accounts. You think it's cheaper to buy prop firm accounts than to actually trade your own accounts. But if you look at how much you've actually spent on prop firm accounts, you realize that you've spent thousands. If you don't want to keep doing this, as I've said in the past, go to the description, click on the link there. It will take you to my calendar where you can book a free session with me, where I can understand what you want to achieve in trading and the struggles that you've had, and whether a mentorship with me is suitable for you. If it is suitable for you, then what will happen is we will build a strategy together, and I will ensure that you are sticking to that strategy. I will monitor your trades. I will scrutinize your trades to ensure you're taking the right trades and you're sticking to your strategy, in addition to linking my proprietary software with your account that will ensure you cannot go on tilt or revenge trade, such that you will reach profitability in 3 months, as little as 3 months. Those 3 months will save you all the time and all the energy and all the money that you would have wasted on prop firm accounts or even on your personal accounts. That is why I am not the cheapest. And I don't intend to be the cheapest, because the value I bring to my students is enormous. I don't know any other mentor that does that. Okay? Because you need a mentor that will hold your hand all the way through to profitability, such that you can reach profitability as quickly as possible. See you in the next video.